right, man. The Plowzone is here, man, with Anything But Human, man. They're going to be on with Shim on a badass tour with Chasing the Devil. And so, Reese, man, what about this band that we're going to get having right now?
All right. Well, this is Ryan, and Ryan is the singer and the guitar player of Anything But Human. And here he comes. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the Plowzone Video Show and Roku Television on Otel Music Video. And basically what we're doing here is we're spotlighting your band. So we want to really find out about what's going on with Anything But Human. So tell us about yourself, guitar player, self-taught, singer. How'd all that work out for you?
It definitely was something that I had no idea what I was doing. I just, learned a few chords, learned a few songs, and it really was just a tool for me to basically something to sing over, and I started at like 15 years old. So, yeah, man, it's been a journey, and it's definitely something I love. Every time I'm sitting at home, I got to have the guitar with me. You know what I mean? Just kind of, playing along to something or writing on something. And I mean, the guitar has definitely been a long journey for me, but I feel like it's been worth it. So, yeah.
So what was the band that made you pick up a guitar?
Oof, man, so many bands. I grew up in the early 2000s. My mother actually took me to my first concert. I was about maybe, I don't know, 9 years old. She took me to see Creed for the first time. And I remember being obsessed with Mark Tremonti. I thought that he was amazing. I was like, I saw them and my little brain was blown away. You know what I mean? But so many bands, man. I can't even begin to name them all. In high school, I really got into like Led Zeppelin and 70s, 80s music as well, 90s. All kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, it's almost too many to name. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would say going to that first concert when I was like 9 or 10, it really did a number on me. I was like, I gotta figure out how to do something like that one day.
So Ryan, who's giving you the best musical advice you still remember to this day?
The best musical advice. Again, much like all the bands that I've been into, it's been so many people on this journey, especially with Anything But Human. I can't think of any one particular saying, but one of the best people I've had a chance to work with was we had a chance to open for Bon Jovi back in 2022, and after the show, or actually, I'm sorry, before the show, one of the guys from the camp, which was one of the main producers of Bon Jovi, he came up to us and he's like, "Hey man, I picked you guys," because there was a contest to open for Bon Jovi. He's like, "I picked you guys, and all I can tell you is just don't suck." You know what I mean?
That's a good thing. That is very good. Just don't suck.
Just don't suck.
So true.
And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, we're about to play for 22,000 people, and just don't suck. Yeah, sure, man. Yeah,
I'm gonna work on that.
So what did you learn on that tour with? I mean, that time with Bon Jovi, besides Just Don't Suck, what did you learn about that?
How to not have a panic attack, I guess, before you go on stage. I don't know, man. It was amazing. Really, what I ended up learning the most was, so that actual producer that talked to us and said, "Just don't suck," he ended up making a record with us. We haven't released it yet. We still have it. We're going to be putting out hopefully next year. I don't know. But he basically taught me a lot of just how to work in the studio as a vocalist, and how to work on my songwriting. So that show had a lengthy benefit for us, more so than just for playing for an awesome, big arena, but for a chance to work with somebody who knows what he's talking about. He's been around for decades and decades, and Obie O'Brien is who I'm talking about. If anybody wants to look him up at some point, amazing guy. And he basically, he taught me a lot of songwriting chops and vocal chops as well in the studio. So,
all right, if you were to describe Anything But Human's music, what would you describe it as?
Man, I would describe it as catchy hooks, catchy melodies. Um, you know, we're in the middle of trying to. I'm not going to say we're trying to change our genre really, but we're definitely trying to expand. I would say our next single's coming out on the 11th of October, and the way I would describe that song is it's kind of like it's an alternative rock song with a little bit of I would say a southern edge to it almost. Um, it's definitely, but it's got the rock in it, you know. But it's all about, to me, it's all about, you know, great lyrics, catchy melodies, and also really good guitar solos. Our guitar player Pat, he's an amazing guitar player, and he does some amazing guitar solos. So I would say that is a big thing in our music. So just catchy hooks and rocking guitars, you know. And
There you
also a
go.
great rhythm section with Joel Denny on the drums and our bass player Phil Saz. Man, they've got it locked in amazing, I think. So yeah.
And how long has your band been together as it is as this unit?
Well, we initially formed back in 2019. I met my drummer Joel back then, and this particular unit, it was a three-piece for a long time, and I would say in about right before the pandemic, we met Phil, the bass player of the band, and I would say, yeah, so it's really 2019, 2020, and here recently, Pat has stepped in as our guitar player. So we've done with Pat, I want to say we've done a few small runs with him, small tours, and he's an amazing guy. So blessed, freaking awesome to have him. So, yeah, that's kind of about 2019 to 2020, and then our current guitar player, which was last year. So,
So what's in the future for your? I mean, besides coming up on this tour, man. What?
dude,
Yeah,
that's all we've been doing this past, I don't know, almost year, I would say, is working on new music. Uh, we've done we've done quite a few shows, but we also spent most of our time in the studio. We had a chance to Will Turpin from Collective Soul. He really dug the band, and we were able to work with him in his studio on our uh, our most recent EP. And the single that's coming out October 11th is from that EP that we recorded at his studio. And
Wow.
after that, we got to go open for Collective Soul in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it was an amazing show. I hope to play some more shows with them in the
I
future.
love that band. I love Collective
Oh,
Soul.
dude, they were
Well,
fucking amazing, man. They were great.
man,
I've never seen them live. It's my first time seeing them, and I recommend it to anybody out there. They're a great band. So, but
definitely.
no, I mean we've been working on a lot of music, and as I mentioned earlier, we did a whole record with the producer from the Bon Jovi camp. So we did that whole record. So we have that in
So
our
why
pockets to
why are you
release.
still sitting on that? Why hasn't that music been released yet?
Well, so we're sitting on two records right now, and we're trying to decide basically which, I guess what would be the best one to put out first. And so we decided on this single, we put it out. Um, and I guess we're just trying to figure out how we want to, the proper way to put it out and which order we want to put it out, because it's definitely it's definitely a different kind of genre, I'd say, from the most recent single. So we don't want to, put out a
Well,
song that is totally different from the other music we've put out in the past. You know what I mean?
well,
So
nowadays people putting out albums isn't the way to do it. They're just releasing a single. They're doing a new video every 2 months or a new every month, and then
yeah,
getting exposure. Because if you throw an album out, it's, oh, well, I heard that one song, and then
yeah,
it's, if you every you got to hit people every freaking day, every
often,
month with a new song and a
yeah.
new video, and because people's attention span are about
Very,
about
very
we
three
know
minutes.
small,
that.
man.
About 3 minutes.
Joey Reed.
Yeah, I know that very well.
Dude, I agree, and I think the way we're looking at it is we got a lot of ammo in the belt. You know what I mean? So we have a lot of content we can throw out there, um, and we're just trying to put it out, I guess, in the order we think that would be makes sense to put out. I guess really at this
Right.
point, you know what I mean? So,
So
but yeah, we're
tell
sitting
us
on.
about your
We've
new
got.
song that you're putting out. What's the newest one you're going to be
It's
putting out?
called All Alone, and we recorded it at Will's studio in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's you know, it's a song that I would say, you know, if you've gone through, which we've all gone through, crappy relationships and stuff like that, but it's more or less it's about kind of learning to, I guess, accept yourself when you're alone with yourself, and kind of learning from a, you know, a bad situation that you came out of. You know, that's the way I would kind of describe it. And you know, learning to care about yourself, and you know, figure out a way to move forward despite, you know, the thing that has happened to you. Um, and it's like I said, I would say it's kind of like a southern rock sound. I would say, almost, if I had to place a genre on it, I would call it that. You know what I mean?
Now, when
So,
you write a song, are you writing lyrics first? You hear a melody? Do you write a guitar chord? How do you write?
for me, it's usually you know, I have a guitar part, and then I'll sing over that guitar part. So the music basically is like the base, the foundation of the, you know, of the house we're building, the musical house we're building. And I would say that it always has to have some kind of music first for me to get the vibe and the flavor of what the melody is going to be. And so then I'll come up with a melody, and then it'll be a lyric, like way last, like literally behind the microphone in the studio. You know, that's when I pretty much, I come up with an idea, but I'm changing it and changing. I got a pen and paper, and I'm changing it as I'm singing. You know what I mean? So it's really, that's my process. I would say it's guitar or whatever the sound is first, or whatever the instrument is first, then the melody, and then the lyric for me.
Cool.
So, what's one of your favorite lyrics? What's one of your favorite verses that you've written through the years?
Hmm. Let's see. Whew. That's a good question, man. I'd have to really think on that for a second. I guess, you know, our one of our songs we put out is called "Move On." That whole chorus line, which is um, "Don't be afraid of these changes. You only have one life." And the song is basically about basically that, you know, in a nutshell, which is it's time to move on from whatever it is you're going through in your life, and be open minded and be willing to accept these changes, because you only got one life, man. You know. And
Ain't that the
I'd
truth?
say, yeah, I'd say we need to make the most of our time we have on this earth. And if I guess if I had to pick a lyric or a line, it would be that, you know. So
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So part of your band is going out with Curtain Call Records on a tour. Well, not with Curtain Call Records, but with Curtain Call Records sponsoring, and with a band named Shim. And we interviewed Shim a couple days ago. And this guy, he was the lead singer of Sick Puppies, put out
mhm.
all kinds of great music. And now he's coming back to the United States, and he's going to do a tour with part of your band. How does that feel?
You know, it's cool, man. I think it's awesome, and we're super happy to help out Shim, and jump on this run, or this whole tour. It's going to start for us on October 3rd, and it's going to end November 17th. And I'm looking forward to picking his brain, man, because he's an amazing songwriter. I've listened to Sick Puppies for, God, a long time. I used to work at Lowe's a long time ago, and I used to hear the song Maybe on the intercom all the time. They play it like every single day, and it's so funny. And I remember, like, back then, I was just concerned about, you know, I don't think I want to work at this place no more, or whatever it might have been, you know. And I remember hearing his voice on the intercom talking about, you know, maybe it's time we change and leave it all behind. And I was just like, man, maybe it is time we changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just cool to actually be on the road with this guy, and we're going to be sharing a tour bus with him, so, and his crew. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot, because I think there's a lot to learn from him, and it's cool to be sharing the stage with him. So.
Well, yeah, especially someone that you know, you listen to, you're like, oh my God, I love that band, Sick Puppies. And all of a sudden, oh my
Yeah,
God, we're going to go out
we're
with
gonna
them. This is
actually we get to
awesome.
go on tour with him, man. That's awesome. I feel super
Yes.
lucky, super fortunate. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank Curtain Call Records and Gigi for
Yeah,
setting
man.
all this up and looking
Yeah,
forward
we've been
to
playing
Shim.
GG for Kurt Call Records for a while, man, on the Plowzone, right? I mean, a bunch of bands we played through the years.
Lots
Dude,
of
they're
bands.
great, man. John and Gigi, they're very, very awesome people. Very thankful for them too, man. They've done a lot for this band's career, I'd say, and I have a lot to thank them for.
So the Plowzone Radio Show, how would they get a hold of you, and what would they contact? You got a website? You got a Facebook page? How's that work?
Yes, you can find us at abhband.com. ABH, anything but human, abhband.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, send us a message. You can talk to us on either of those. We're on, I think we do have a TikTok. We should probably use that a little bit more, but we have a TikTok, and YouTube. Send us a message on YouTube. You can connect with us there.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of video and stuff from your guys' tour. Send it to the Plowzone Radio Show on Facebook, and we will share the hell out of it.
Man, I appreciate it. I really do. I'll be sending you stuff. So
yeah, send me your new music. Next week we're gonna have Shim on. We're gonna do Chasing the Devil's new song, and we could do your guys' new song and just have it a whole Curtain Call Records thing. That would be
hell yeah, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, play it as much, please. We appreciate it. So
you bet.
Yeah,
thank you, Ryan, man, for being on the Plowzone Video Show right here, man.
Thank you.
You know what? We spotlight independent music, independent arts from around the world. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep going and plowing it up.